Okay, so a couple of months ago this video came out talking about how to write breakdowns. And I watched it and I liked it, and I'll link it in the description. It's pretty interesting. But I thought they glossed over some important information, namely kind of how you actually write the guitar part of a breakdown and like what it means to write something that's syncopated, if that's what you're trying to write. There can be other types of breakdowns, and this might be a little bit too much detail to get into now, but we can clarify the terms that are laid out in that video a little bit more, I think. To begin, like what does it mean to have a syncopated breakdown? A syncopated breakdown is constructed of guitar playing that is occurring off of the beat of the song. So whatever the count is, the syncopation happens in relation to that. It's sort of a little misleading in the original video because they talk about it being in relation to the drums, and the drums are oftentimes playing more on beat during a breakdown, but it's the beat itself that is the reference point for any syncopation. So if I'm clapping along to the beat, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, for instance, in order to play off of that, I have to be playing when my hands are in midair, right? So if I'm playing 1, then the note I'm playing is going to be when my hands are open like this. So, right? That's syncopation. So this is a really common technique in metalcore songs, and it comes to us from jazz, most likely, or entered popular music through jazz. And the term breakdown comes through folk music, which influenced jazz, although the modern sense of the breakdown is very different from the original sense of the breakdown. But historically, and even in a modern sense, the breakdown is kind of a point where the song becomes a little bit more broken apart, right? The original structure of the song kind of falls away a little bit, and things can either become more improvisational or more just kind of like purely rhythmic. And the latter is definitely more of the case in the modern sense, and historically it was kind of more of the improvisational opportunity in the song. So in a metalcore song or in a punk song, the breakdown is usually a point where the tonal motion of the song tends to fall away. You get a lot of open playing on the tonic of whatever your song is, which in the case of open tunings is usually just, that's strummed open. And you also tend to get like maybe more straightforward rhythms from the drums specifically, although there will probably also be accents off of whatever the guitar part is playing. So the guitar part will be syncopated. It's also going to probably be primarily chug-based in the tonic. And you might have some occasional accents like panic chords, or you might go up a fret or so. The tritone's definitely also common, and you might want to do a lot of neighbor motion if you are going to introduce any kind of harmonic motion. So that motion's like a little bit nastier sounding. It's going to lend itself well to the mood of the moment, which is typically one of the most high energy parts of the song in terms of like making people want to move around and stuff. Harmonics and sweep picking are also really common. In general, you really want to pay close attention to your right hand discipline when you're writing your breakdown. You want to make sure you got your good chugs in. Like, I made a video playing along with Norma Jean's Absentimental, and that breakdown is a really classic example of a pretty simple syncopated breakdown. It starts off with this, and then it moves to a, and all of that is happening off beat. And if you really want to kind of like learn an example of this, you can go back and watch that video. I'll link it in the description as well. The other recommendation I would have for you if you're really trying to get good at metalcore breakdowns is to spend some time just playing along to a metronome, because I think you can get a better sense of how to play off beat specifically, and I'll provide an example really quickly. So you can set it going pretty slow and just play off beat. If you just play along, you'll probably come up with patterns that you really like. You can work those into more cohesive structure, and that becomes the breakdown of whatever your metalcore song is. And don't forget to include other accents if you want, like panic chords and whatnot, maybe a little octave motion. And yeah, when you end up getting to the arrangement stage, you might want to go back and watch that other video, but you want to keep in mind that, the drums are going to be playing slow and spacey, and you probably also want to be giving everything a fair amount of space as well. Everyone in the band probably wants to be giving things a fair amount of space. That's very characteristic of the breakdown. So yeah, I hope this helped clarify how you might actually go about writing the guitar part specifically, especially if you're not as familiar with playing in a syncopated fashion. That's a really critical thing, I think, to learn if you're trying to get into playing more metalcore style, post-hardcore style playing. can be more, I guess, jazz influenced than classic punk rock, which is more kind of like four on the floor. Good luck writing your parts, and have fun with it.